everyone, and welcome back to my channel. A lot of you have requested more topics from the CSEC syllabus, so we're going to begin today by starting a new lesson, and that is of course egg cookery. If you're not yet a subscriber, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Let's take a look at the lesson objectives. So number 1, you should be able to list at least 3 parts of a chicken egg. You should also be able to outline the composition of an egg. Number 3, you should also be able to demonstrate any one method that can be used to test for freshness of eggs. Number 4, explain at least 2 changes that can occur during the storage of eggs. And number 5, you should be able to analyze any 3 ways eggs can be used in cooking. So let's get straight into the lesson. But before we do that, how about a brain teaser? Today's brain teaser question: does the color of an egg determine the nutritive value? If you think you know the answer, leave it in the comments down below, and throughout the video we'll find out the answer. The first person to comment the correct answer will get a highlight in the next video. Alright, so let's get into the lesson. First thing we need to focus on is the composition or the makeup of a chicken egg. So the diagram being displayed on the screen clearly outlines the different parts of an egg. So you have the chalaza, you have the air cell, shell membrane, germinal disc, egg yolk, vitelline membrane, thin and thick albumin, and the shell. The shell is the hard covering that encases all of the egg contents. Another thing that you need to know also is that it is primarily made of calcium carbonate, and it can come in a variety of different colors and shapes depending on the type of bird that laid it, right? It is also porous, which allows the embryo that is inside to breathe, and the pores take in oxygen and any other gases that's in the atmosphere, and then it lets out waste such as carbon dioxide and moisture. Next, you have the air cell, and this is normally found at the larger end of the egg, right? And basically it's just a pocket of air. So it is formed because when the egg is first laid, it is very warm, and then as the egg cools, the contents that are inside contract, leaving the empty space of air pocket inside the shell, right? Now what's fascinating is that the air pocket gets larger as the egg ages. Next, you have the chalaza or the chalazae, right? And everybody knows that the egg yolk is in the center of the egg. Now, the purpose of the chalaza is to hold the egg yolk in place. And just by looking at the diagram, you can see that it looks like, twisted rope that is connected from one end to the egg yolk itself. Next, we have the vitelline yolk membrane, and this is what contains the yolk of the egg. Now, when this membrane becomes punctured, the yolk will lose its round shape. And of course, we know the yolk to be the yellow inside portion of the egg that provides minerals, vitamins, fats, and protein to the growing embryo. Next, we have the albumin or the egg white, and this is a clear thin liquid that surrounds the vitelline membrane, right? It helps to provide another layer of protection and protein for the growing embryo. And then you have the germinal disc, which is a small white spot on the yolk where the egg could have been fertilized and an embryo would have started to grow. We're going to be looking at how we can test for freshness of eggs. Now, there are various methods that can be used, and these include the water test, observation, candling, and by weight. Starting off with the most obvious one, observation. Now, you can determine whether or not an egg is fresh or stale by the way it looks. Now, fresh eggs are rough and chalky in appearance, while stale eggs are smooth and shiny. And in terms of weight, fresh eggs are heavier than stale eggs. Another way to test for freshness of eggs is by using the water test, and all you would need is a pan of cool salted water. If the egg sinks to the bottom of the pan, it is fresh. If it floats, it is stale, and if it remains suspended in the middle, then it is moderately stale. Handling is the final method, and with this method the egg is held with a strong light behind it. Now the light will show the size of the air cell, the position of the yolk, and the clearness of the egg white. A fresh egg will have a small air space, a clear white, and a yolk positioned in the center. A stale egg would have the opposite. In terms of storage, eggs may be stored for short or long periods. For shorter periods, however, they should be stored in an egg container in the refrigerator with the sharper end pointing upward to ensure that the egg yolk remains in position. They should be used within 14 days of purchase. For longer periods, however, eggs may be dried and can come in the form of dried egg yolk, dried egg white, or dried whole egg. In terms of frozen eggs, it can be frozen, however, it may become thick and lumpy when being thawed. And naturally, when you store food items, there are some changes that can occur the longer it is kept. In terms of eggs, the air cell becomes enlarged because there's a loss of moisture. Also, because the shell is porous, it allows the passage of air, moisture, and bacteria, which will contribute to the overall deterioration of the egg. There's also a loss of carbon dioxide, which will cause the egg white to become thinner and spread more when the egg is broken. And then finally, the egg white will eventually become yellow and cloudy. Here are a few guidelines to follow when selecting eggs for purchase. Choose eggs that are clean and properly packaged in egg containers, and this will ensure that they meet hygienic standards. Number 2, the egg should feel heavy and the shell should be rough. And this is one of the ways to test for freshness of eggs. And number 3, to answer the brain teaser question, in terms of color, there is no nutritional difference between a brown and a white egg. The color of the eggshell is dependent on the breed of the chicken that laid the egg. Our next objective is to focus on some uses of eggs in cookery. Now, the first use of an egg is as a main dish. And eggs may be served for any meal, for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, and it may be served as a snack as well. Now, being used as a main dish means that egg is the primary focus or the primary ingredient, and some examples include fried eggs, scrambled eggs, deviled eggs, eggs au gratin, just to name a few. Eggs may also be used as a thickening agent. Now, as eggs coagulate, meaning as they move from a liquid to a semi-solid or solid state, it becomes a thickening agent in dishes. Gentle heat should be applied when cooking, as moderate and high heat will prevent the egg protein from coagulating, thus resulting in curdling due to separation. Some examples of dishes where egg is used as a thickening agent include custards, puddings, cream pies, or cooked salad dressings. Eggs may also be used as a binding agent, meaning that the coagulation property of the egg is used to hold a combination of ingredients together in a desired shape or form. And examples include meatballs, potato croquettes, fritters, burger patties, or meatloaves. Eggs may also be used as a raising agent, meaning that it causes some products to rise as heat is applied. Now, the egg white in particular is able to incorporate air when beaten, and during cooking, the air expands and the egg white sets, holding the expanded size of the product. Now, some examples of dishes where egg is used as a raising agent or as a leavener include soufflés, meringues, sponge cakes, or in some cases, fluffy omelets. For some dishes, eggs may be beaten and brushed onto a product prior to baking to give it a shiny crust, which will in turn give off a golden brown color. Now, in this case, egg is being used as a glaze, and examples of dishes that may use egg as a glaze include breads and pastries such as short crust or patties or turnovers. Eggs can also be used as an emulsifier, meaning that when it is used along with an oil in the presence of heat, the egg protein coagulates. Constant mixing is required during this process to ensure that the oil droplets remain separated until coagulation takes place. And examples of dishes include mayonnaise or sauces such as hollandaise. Sometimes the egg white and the eggshell may be used to clarify dishes. Simply put, the egg white and the eggshell may be used to remove impurities or unwanted particles from food. The process is simple. The impurities will stick to the egg white or the eggshell, and then the liquid is strained, leaving a clear finished product. And examples where eggs may be used to clarify include consommes or other clear soups, sometimes sauces as well. Eggs are commonly used as garnishes or decorations for a variety of dishes. Now, they may be used to garnish savory dishes such as salads or main dishes, and they may also be used as decorations in terms of sweet dishes. So they may be used to create things such as icing, and the icing will in turn create an attractive look. And finally, eggs may be used to enrich dishes, meaning that it can be added to dishes to increase or improve the nutritive value of the dish. And it can improve the nutritive value by giving an extra supply of protein, vitamins, and minerals to the dishes. And also, it can be used to improve the flavor and texture of the dish. Now, examples where eggs may be used as an enriching agent include cakes, breads, milk puddings, etc. If you have any other uses of eggs, feel free to drop them in the comment below.